Hi, if you're watching this video, most likely you came to us asking for one-on-one consultation with me. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that anymore. The good news is I have wonderful colleagues in the industry who I can refer you to. One of the people I trust tremendously is my good friend, colleague, and mentor, Andrea Nakayma, who's right here with me. Andrea is the founder of Functional Nutritional Alliance. It's a new name, so I'm trying here to remember. And so I'm assuming that there's a possibility that you have already gone through some kind of a path with your healing. Perhaps you've been DIYing things. Perhaps you have seen a practitioner, functional or not, and you got some help, but you feel like it's not really holistic and full. And so I think this is where your work comes in, and this is where Andrea can really help you. So why don't we just take just a couple of minutes, why don't you tell us about what's so special about what you teach? And really, if you guys approached me because you like the work that I'm doing, a lot of the approach, like my whole way of thinking of functional nutrition to support hormonal health has really been thought by Andrea. So why don't you take 2 minutes and tell us how do you teach, how can you help women who struggle with their hormones?
Yeah, I mean, we were laughing before that hormones aren't a one-trick pony.
Yes.
And there's often a lot of issues that we have to address when it comes to ultimately balancing our hormones. There's a lot we can do to support ourselves, but sometimes we're trying and not getting to those roots, and so we're not seeing sustainable resolution. And where we come in at the Functional Nutrition Alliance and in our clinic is really looking at the entire individual, looking at your history, looking at your full body systems, so looking at your gut health and your immune health and your hormone health and your environmental toxins, really thinking very functionally, which is very holistically, and then making sure we're matching the efforts that you put in each and every day to what's going on for you, and it can be very unique. So it's a methodical process, and it's finally addressing the truth of the unique individual as opposed to bypassing the individual in favor of the problem, the sign, the symptom, or the diagnosis.
An example of that would be, say you worked with somebody, this is a very common thing I get, you worked with somebody and they put you on bioidentical hormones of some sort, they upped your thyroid medication, they gave you a whole bunch of supplements that's worth $500 worth, and then things still aren't working. Why? That's because you're not addressing the root cause. And so what I have found, obviously, with that kind of approach you're teaching, not only with your hormonal health change, but everything else is going to change. You're going to sleep better, your digestion is going to improve, your sex life is going to improve. It's just an overall transformation. So let's just make it also super practical. You will do everything from testing, meal plans, approach.
We have. So the other thing I want to add is that usually if we're not getting better, there's more than one root cause. So I just want to put that out there because I think we're all looking for the root cause, and it's typically that there are a lot of factors that have led us to the tipping point where we are experiencing signs, symptoms, and diagnosis. So it's not finding one needle in a haystack, which is I think where a lot of people end up going to that. Like, what's the one pill? What's the one protocol? Or who is the one practitioner? The work we do is the depth of really finding out what is everything and how do we start to address it. So yes, we will do testing when it's appropriate. We don't do the tons of upfront testing. We determine what do we need to fix along the way so that it's more cost effective for the patient, because we're not just doing everything just to find markers. We're resolving as we go. It's a journey, and we're really doing the counseling through that journey. So we'll provide people with the support, the resources. We'll often help people find the team that they need if we do need a physician on the team. And we can even work in tandem and in partnership with the rest of the medical team. So we tend to be able to take on the situations that seem complex to the individual and may not be, as well as the situations that are extremely complex and just are not getting resolution.
Well, that's one of Andrea's qualities. Is I remember always hearing from my colleagues and where you are in Oregon that doctors refer you the most complicated cases, and that's as you said, sometimes it doesn't have to be that difficult. Sometimes it is, but it doesn't have to be. So also I want to say, if you are the kind of person who is expecting to be given 3 supplements and resolve all your issues when it's really complicated and you've had it for a long time, then maybe this is not a fit. So I'll just put it out there straight away. But if you're want to work on yourself and learn something that's going to stay with you for life, because the things you're going to learn about yourself and you can pass it on to your kids and your entire family as a foundation of good health, and I think this is a great fit. It doesn't have to be long and complicated, but it is, I think it's a really smart approach, and a lot of people don't want us smart. We just want a pill to fix it. That's not the approach. So
it's true. It's what people who aren't getting results will end up doing. You just end up doing it on your own and trying to figure everything out. Why is that food not working? Why did I respond to that supplement? Why am I still not sleeping? Why do I feel
just to
cranky?
give you an example, like how I love your approach, for example, many of you have food sensitivities. You go and see a doc, you come back with your IgG testing, and it's got like 40 foods that you can't eat anymore. And a lot of practitioners will get you off those foods and be like, well, you're going to stay off those for the rest of your life. And that creates so much of panic, anxiety, right? Frustration, anger, limitation. And I know you work on it, saying, why are you sensitive to these foods in the first place? Let's take that out and then be able to maybe end up with maybe those 3 foods that you kind of can eat, right?
It's always why.
There's
We're
the why.
always going for the why and
not
understanding.
Exactly, and that's one of the genius of this approach. So I hope you reach out to Andrea. Let's talk about the logistics of things. So we're gonna have a link below this video.
Yes.
So just tell us, how do they get in touch with your team?
Yes, I know that it's a process for people to understand how we work, because it's different than working with most practitioners. So we make sure to walk you through that. But the first thing to do is to go to fxnutrition.com/clinic. And there's a purple button that'll say, I'm finally ready to feel better. If you click that button, it's going to walk you through how we work, but you'll also get an email that immediately allows you to schedule a 15-minute strategy session that's complimentary with one of the nutritionists on my team, so we can figure out if we're a good fit for each other. So you click that purple button, watch your inbox, and you'll have an invitation to schedule that complimentary session, because we want to make sure this is the right fit for you.
Yeah, so even though we're asking for email and signing up to something, you will have a chance to get in touch with a human right away. So it's not like an automated thing when it goes to an abyss. So anything else you want to mention before we end this video?
If you find that you click that button and you don't see that email, it happens with certain servers. I just want to say you can always reach out to us if you're curious to learn more. If you want to bypass that system, you can reach out to us at support@fxnutrition.com. I have a dedicated support team. They're here to help you. This is all my team. It's not external people. We are here to make sure that you get the resources that you need to get on your road to healing. So
awesome.
Please reach out.
So if you have Hashimoto's, low thyroid function, you're struggling with estrogen dominance, you can't get pregnant, you've got perimenopause and menopause, or you've got stuff no one really knows what is going on because they don't have a name for it, or it's just confusing, you want to get off antidepressants, this is the resource to go to for one-on-one consultation. All right, I hope this is helpful. If you guys have any questions, email either Andrea or email our team. Bye for now.
Bye.